back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. This is why I cannot put LeBron James in the top 10. Because I just don't think he had a better career than Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, Magic Johnson, or Micheal Jordan. I just don't believe that. And when we put these guys side to side, or side by side, it just proves it. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. You guys been fooled by a lot of nonsense. Or these guys on TV, like Nick Wright, they say a lot of nonsense with very little proof. Yeah, his longevity is basically their proof as him being a top 2 player on ESPN or Fox Sports. That's their proof. His longevity of stats, that's their proof. Yeah, sure, he's got the MVPs or whatever like that, but yeah, his longevity. Let me say something about that. If I'm not mistaken, John Stockton, he's an all-time assist leader and an all-time steals leader. So does that make John Stockton the greatest floor general or the greatest playmaker, better than Magic Johnson? Or does it make him the greatest defender or top 5 defender of all time? No. So LeBron isn't the greatest scorer. He's one of the greatest at 27 points per game, but with one scoring title and basically no jumper, I just can't put him up there in the top 5. He has the most points of all time, not the greatest scorer. See, they try to mix these things up. A great scorer and the most points, that's two different things. The world can make you dumb really fast. And when you're young, trust me, they can. I was young at one point. Well, I was younger at one point. And a lot of stuff that you hear on TV, the music, is stuff that influences you while you're growing up and you're still learning about the world. There's people out here that are trying to deceive you. Why? For financial gain of their own. And I can tell you most of this stuff has to do with the NBA players of the past. They really don't defend themselves. They really don't. For all the stuff that's been said about them in their eras and getting pissed in their face, they don't defend themselves. I think one, because it's just obvious. It's just obvious that none of it's true. And that, they see that they're tricking young people. And I think the biggest reason is it's a product that they're trying to sell. This era of NBA. Even though this isn't LeBron's era in the 2020s, they've been doing this since the late 2010s, right? Trying to sell LeBron. And they keep trying to sell LeBron in an era that isn't his. And like we've been saying, they never had to tear down the past to sell the era that they was in. Why? Because the game just kept getting more popular by the year. Now, it did take a little low in the 70s, but it bounced back in the 80s and was at the height in the 90s. It then took a little low in the 2000s, stayed somewhat steady in the 2010s, but now it's bad. And I can tell you this, it's getting like Major League Baseball and hockey, where you're just going to have your base fans and then nobody's really going to watch it on TV. People aren't stupid. And your casual fans are basically now your young fans, right? You hear the casuals say now, oh, you're just a casual. No, they're the casuals. They don't watch these games. They don't watch them. They go back and look at stat lines. so they can argue the next day. They don't watch these games. When we were young, we watched the games. We watched NBA. And like I told you before, it didn't matter if your team wasn't in the playoffs or didn't make the finals. We still watched the NBA because we were NBA fans. And that's why the ratings were still respectable in the 90s when Michael Jordan retired, because we were all NBA fans. This is something that was getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger every year, especially when Michael Jordan was playing and Magic and Bird was playing. It was something that was getting bigger and bigger. Everything was getting bigger and bigger in the 80s and 90s. And truthfully, the 80s was, to me, the best era of all time. With music, sports, movies, sitcoms, fashion. The 80s was the best. But the 90s was great too. I'm not going to piss on the early 2000s. It was pretty decent too. I'm thinking about till about 212. I think after 212, everything just started going really downhill as far as everything. Because when I look at the 80s, everything, that was the height of originality. It was really the height of originality. When we talk about movies, music, fashion, sitcoms, sports, all that shit was the height of originality. And the 90s just came and, kept it going. Kept it going. And the 2000s kept it respectable. It kept it respectable. And then about 212, it just, everything started going downhill. I don't know if it's the whole technology thing now or what. But this is what we got right here. You have to lie now. The new truth is the lie. And, I don't think all LeBron fans are dumb. I think when you are telling them 2 + 2 is 4, they get it. But just to still be, in that arena to try to one up you, they want to say it's 3. And what I mean is, when you say, or when they say Jordan was 1-9 before Pippen, or Jordan couldn't win without Pippen, and you say, well, what did LeBron win in the 2000s? Nothing. LeBron missed the playoffs his first 2 seasons. Or LeBron couldn't win without Wade, Bosh, Kyrie, Love, AD, Howard, all these guys he went and got. Most of them top 5 players in the league at the time. Didn't go get one guy, went and got 2 at a time that were team's #1 franchise players at the time. And so when we look at Pippen, came in the draft a bench player. So when that argument is already smashed and it's over, they will say again, Jordan was 1-9 without Pippen and couldn't win championships without Pippen. They'll just say it over and over again. They just want to antagonize you at this point. Nobody's that dumb. So initially, they were idiots for saying that at first, okay? Because that was something Nick Wright said, right? Or Shannon Sharp, or somebody who they think is their leader and has all this intelligence. But the guy, Nick Wright and Shannon Sharp, they are brilliant in my eyes, because they have made this argument that's not even an argument into millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, making LeBron fans into idiots. Nobody could be this more idiotic than a LeBron fan. You could not tell a Magic Johnson fan that Magic Johnson, although a great player, was better than Jordan on the court. You just couldn't. And Magic was great. But somehow you can convince a LeBron fan that LeBron is better than Jordan with very little proof. And you really couldn't do this. If there was no Nick Wright or Shannon Sharp or the Colin Cowherd, there would be no proof of this. Even though there's no proof today, it's just all talk. It's just all lies, made up stuff that makes no sense. And before 2020, we all knew it was nonsense. Michael Jordan put out The Last Dance in the Jordan mixtape at the same time. What a crushing blow. You have his basketball career, and then you have the greatest highlights of Michael Jordan ever. I don't know who put that mixtape together, but LeBron couldn't have that kind of mixtape if he had 8 careers. He couldn't. Kobe Bryant, the next best thing to Michael Jordan as far as emulating his game, couldn't have a mixtape like that, like Michael Jordan's. And Kobe Bryant has some great highlights, some spectacular highlights. It would never come close to what Michael Jordan had as far as his highlights. Because Michael Jordan had these highlights from the beginning of his career. These great highlights, these incredible highlights, these unbelievable highlights since he entered the NBA until his last year with the Chicago Bulls. And to me, he had some great highlights at 38, 40 years old in Washington. So, to me, that was like the final blow. The Last Dance and the Michael Jordan mixtape. Wow. You have to be an idiot to even have a debate like that. I mean, the debate between LeBron and Michael Jordan after that. A fake debate. It's a fake debate. And the sad part is, when this guy retires, I mean, wow. They have to start this whole thing over again. And that's why the ESPNs, the Fox Sports, they don't want LeBron to retire. Because they got to write a new script full of lies. The people who worked on ESPN back in the day, they didn't have a script comparing Michael Jordan to Magic Johnson or Michael Jordan to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Wilt Chamberlain. They didn't have no script like that. They wouldn't be respected off of lies. And Michael Jordan really don't even consider him the greatest of all time. He said he never played against the Wills and the Russells and the Koozies and all these guys. All the guys he never played against. So he doesn't consider himself the greatest of all time. Well, if we go with that, I can't say that Michael Jordan had the greatest career of all time. If there's no greatest of all time, because everybody didn't get to play against each other, all the greats, we can say who had the greatest career of all time. And to me, it was Michael Jordan. And then next, it will be Wilt Chamberlain. And then after that, it will be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And then after that, it will be Bill Russell. And then it will be Magic Johnson. To me, that's the top 5 players who had the greatest careers of all time. Careers. And like I said in the past, I'm willing to throw LeBron James in at number 6 just because that's how the criteria is right here. He has 4 MVPs, 4 championships, 4 Finals MVPs, and 2 statistical titles. And people, oh man, what about Kobe, man? What about Duncan? Well, the criteria is right there. He's got more than Duncan and more than Kobe. Now, if we find out he was on PEDs, obviously he's not even top 1,000. And I think Hakeem is next. And then Kobe. And then Duncan. And then Bird. So to me, it's the fakest debate of all time. All these people are making money on YouTube, the television, all this stuff off of lies. And ESPN and Fox Sports and the NBA has been doing this for a long time. So you can't blame the young people for wanting to lie up a storm with them. They just want to be a part of something. And then there's other people on social media that just wants to, like FYF sports debate. Of course this guy wants to lie. He wants to make money. All these guys want to make money. Why do you think Dreamers Pro runs back and tells you everything that ESPN says and does in Fox Sports? Because obviously he's an informant for them. He might be getting a cut of money from them. Because that's turned into the fakest networks of all time. Not only starting with their lies about this GOAT debate, but the fact that they're putting WNBA women on a panel to talk about men's sports. So are the men going to the WNBA panel when they start talking about WNBA? I don't think so. So this is what you got. You got lies and cheap labor at ESPN and Fox because they want to put these women on there. So when it comes down to talking about not only the WNBA, but they want you to go watch WNBA games because these women are on the panel now. And I don't care about WNBA games. They're trying to turn that into a soap opera. That's all it is. It's not good basketball. All you're going to get out of it is a damn soap opera. That's it. So, tell me what you think.